And the last question that we'll have before we go to our Q&A is looking ahead. Where do you see the industry moving, film moving, or changing, adapting, and how are your programs changing and adapting as well, or how have they changed over the past, let's say, 5 years? Let's start with Chapman.
Well, I think for us, the big kind of movements we've seen with our students, which kind of dictates what we do, and also looking to the industry, documentaries are kind of a new thing, and we've had a lot of interest in that, and being able to tell real stories, and following someone that way, I think has become a big thing. So we've been really developing our department in that area. And looking more recently, 3D is kind of the new thing, and I know there's a lot of questions as to whether it's going to stay or not, but we definitely see that as a big movement. Our theater is now 3D capable. We're teaching 3D classes. We're doing our student written class, or student written film we're doing in our winter session is completely going to be shot in 3D. So we're kind of moving on that area because that's where we really see the industry going. We're also really big on social media. So we have an entire class on iPads, which is kind of interesting. So yeah, we have students wandering around with iPads. So they're learning about journalism and iPad apps and ways to use this new media that's coming up and promoting all sorts of different things. And obviously the use of Twitter and blogs and all of that kind of areas as well. So I think those are kind of definitely the big things. And we were kind of talking about this earlier, but going more to the internet. So for, we see a lot of people going towards television or webisodes, because that's become such a viral industry that it really is the best way to get your start. And some people make really successful careers that way. So just kind of embracing the change as much as we can and teaching our students so they'll have the skill if they choose to follow that as well.
Thank you. Long Beach.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned documentaries. People for a long time treated documentaries as a stepchild. And I think if you turn the cable on, you'll find that it's the most widely distributed genre of filmmaking. Cable would have nothing if it weren't for the documentary genre filmmaking. And even, something in the fill in the blank Housewives of is a documentary form. So something got started with MTV 20 years ago, and it's just created all these opportunities for documentaries. I think documentaries are important now. They'll be important going forward. We're just trying to find out as much as we can about each other. And what a better medium, a better format to use in the documentary to do that. In the future, I think we're looking out now. We're seeing the internet. We're seeing iPads, tablet TV, PCs. We're seeing different kinds of media players and cell phones that you can receive television on. I think the future is going to be about platform diversity, dexterity, which means that we need to be able to put you in a position that your project can be played on whatever platform is available. So you can make money off of the distribution of telephones, on iPads, through the Apple Store or the Google Store, or when someone is using their PC to play the latest episode of the student film channel on their television. So I think that's what we need to be looking at. Future also, we're bringing in a new course. I just approved it this week, which has as its focus just this sort of thing. We bring in someone from the high-tech industry who has a great deal of background in software development and also media business. And we're looking at trying to develop this kind of orientation for the future. Being very sensitive to how these various media formats can be utilized by the media and our students.
Thank you, and then Erica from UCLA.
I think in terms of academics and our areas of study, just growing in terms of breadth. It's not just about production and screenwriting and critical media studies anymore. There's so many different areas of filmmaking, and we're just trying to keep up with that and address the interests of our students. We didn't have costume design until this year. That student is working in concert with the theater program to develop their major, but that's something that we developed because there was a need for that. Similarly, post-production was not something that we had offered previously. A producer's program was not offered a few years ago. But these things are developing as the students want them and also as just the needs in terms of the industry. So making a diversified student, I guess, would be sort of our goal. And then just, in terms of industry in general, obviously, anything that's quick, fast. You guys are making web series, great. Vimeo, Funny or Die, YouTube, do it, all of it. That's really where it's going, gaming, digital animation, all of that. So those are sort of the trends that we're watching. But in general, we try to watch trends and then apply it to our academics accordingly. So there are going to continue to be trends, and we'll all try to do our best to keep up.
Thank you. And Brian, what do you guys see?
I've seen a big change just over the last 2 years in the way our programs approach each other. We used to be very siloed. A writer was a writer, and a producer was a producer. There was no mixing, interactive. Game makers didn't talk to animators and whatnot. The word transmedia has been around for a long time, but it's revived. We use it a lot. We use holistic a lot. The big change is all the silos have fallen down. You're no longer just a writer. You're a writer who also understands production, animation, interactive. If you're a game maker, you have to understand writing. Somebody writes that game, believe it or not. There are writers who write a game. The guy that runs our writing program, Jack Epps, spent the summer writing a Top Gun game. He wrote Top Gun. But for some reason they're bringing back Top Gun. And he spent the summer writing the game. So you have to know the different mediums. The lines are going to be blurring more and more, and that's the way we're moving, and that's what we see. We bring game makers in, and we just had the head of Sony Interactive come and talk to our students. He's saying that he is now hiring people he would never have hired 5 years ago to direct things for him. He's hiring game makers to direct interactive media for him. And we're hearing that more and more. And then the other side is the production folks are now working with the game makers, and they have to work together because the games are now coming out at the same time as the movie is. And they both have to understand because of budgets. I mean, if you think about it, when you go out and shoot your movie, it's going to show up in that game. But usually what happens is the guy shooting the movie doesn't shoot the scenes for the game because the guys making the game never talked to the guy shooting the movie. Now they're talking, and there's economy and scale. So that guy's out, he's redoing his shots to fit the game, and it's all sharing. But without knowing what's required, that won't happen. So we're merging things. I would like to do away with programs totally and just have everything in emphasis. And you get an overall education, an overall experience in cinematic arts with an emphasis in an area. You're going to be more successful. You're going to be the leader. We talk about trade schools. We learn that one thing. I want you to walk out knowing one thing really, really well, and all the others good enough that when you go into a meeting, you don't sound stupid when you talk about it. And that's really, really important. And that's what's going to make you a leader, because you talk about it. You may not know it all the way, but you can take your way through it.
Okay, wonderful. Let's move into our Q&A portion of the